Hello everybody, and Jessica, and welcome back to Skeleton Knight in Another World. My cat just demanded to go on the windowsill, and hopefully she'll stay there for the time of the recording, and she won't screw up with my camera and whatnot, because she has a tendency to walk around my desk at the most inconvenient moments possible. But let's not talk about that. It's a beautiful day. I have some stuff to do today, but before I go out and do that stuff, I can still record some Skeleton Knight for you. Now that's bad news that it's daytime because I'm using daylight and I still can't tell if my ring light really does anything or not. Ring light that I was able to buy thanks to your Patreon donations, by the by. So if you want to fund more stuff like that, link in the description. But again, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Skeleton Knight. What happened in the last episode? Well, in the last episode, we seemingly dismantled the whole slave trading ring and whatnot, or did we? Sure, Ark and his elven friend did invade their headquarters and did free the elves, but the people responsible for that are still alive, aren't they? So I fear they might be up to no good yet again, and many times in the future. I hope they will not become recurring villains, but there is a possibility that they will. What else? Ark, of course, stole their gold under the pretense of removing the wealth from them so that they cannot rebuild. Problem is, the whole business was essentially sanctioned by the city, by the country, even perhaps. So who's there to stop them from raising taxes and raising a war chest again? And my cat no longer wants to be on a windowsill, apparently. You want down, or do you want to stay there? You want down. Okay. Mother! She swiped her tail and obliterated the foam. The nice foam I had on my latte. God damn it. And there, of course, there's fur in my tea. There's fur in my coffee. Of course there is. Okay, I think I took out all the fur and half the foam. I guess I better drink it fast, lest she does something again. Oh, more fur. And now she's scratching on my bed. Okay, you know what? You do whatever you wanna do. I'm gonna leave you to it. And now, after we're done that, Ark and his elven friend are. I want to say that they are on the way to the elven area, elven town, elven country, whatever. I need to clean her tail now. Okay, done. But they are not on their way. They are there in front of the gates, and that's where we ended up at. So now I guess we're gonna meet the elves, and Ark is probably gonna help them destroy some more slave trading rings. Maybe. I think that might be where it's going. I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. I spent so much time on my cat. God damn it. Uh, yeah, okay. It's just 4 minutes of an intro, not the longest I had. So now I'm just gonna give you subs, myself some sound, and hopefully my cat calms the fuck down for the time of the recording. Uh now, okay, let's start watching Skeleton Knight in Another World, Episode 6, version by subs, please. In 3, 2, 1, go. Konnichiwa, Ark desu. Lallatoya. I have this weird vibe when I'm looking at Ark, as if he was a character. The style he's drawn and the color palette, whatever, is kind of like old anime, like early 2000s anime. I don't know why, but he's really giving me that vibe. Maybe because of the slightly thicker line work, slightly grayish tones in the opening, and when he's CG, he doesn't give me those vibes. But when he's drawn, he really gives me those early 2000s anime art style vibes. And now my eyelashes are acting against me. Oh, today is Friday, the 13th. Well, that explains things. Well, that explains things. I'm not, uh, into the whole thing of black cats and walking under ladders. I mean, I own a black cat, but today is Friday the 13th. Earlier today, I found some ants in my favorite mug as I was making myself a coffee. And I have to go out today. Hopefully, nothing happens to me. Uh. Does muscle training even help if you're a skeleton? Yeah, you clean yourself. You're dirty with milk foam. You clean yourself. Well, oat milk, but milk nonetheless. Yeah, just about what I'd expect an elven village to be. Okay, I'm gonna stop fiddling with my eyelashes. I'm only making things worse. You can see he's old because he has a goatee. Ara ara. Well, you don't look a year over 200. uh, At least they're cool. I was afraid the elders are gonna be just a bunch of old coots who have something against Ark, and they're gonna cause problems. Vegetable stew? Oh no, there's some meat. Hot or not great? I like that he doesn't have to constantly be wearing the helmet. I really like that fact actually. That there are times where when he can actually relax, and Ponta is sleeping in his ribcage. Well, that's interesting. Araki. Well, now you're just alone with a MILF in the house. Where is it going, huh? Probably not where you're thinking it's going, you dirty, dirty minds. Okay, they can just teleport. That's a nice magic circle. What's gonna go tits up? Something has to go awry. Or maybe not. Maybe actually not. Unless it turns out that the elders are conspiring with the humans and are like willingly selling their own kin. What's there to see exactly? It's just homes, maybe a couple of granaries. Not like they have a tavern or something. Should attach prosthetic ears to his helmet. Okay, nice. What do you mean by spar? I guess she means normal combat. Well, perhaps they need a reminder. Perhaps the lands of humans need to be balkanized. I mean, it would be good if you were to notify, like, the overall kingdom that there is a region that broke the treaty. Oh, right, because of the whole deal with my cat, I forgot that we also visited the human kingdom, and they think so far that it's just rumors, the whole elven kidnappings, but they will investigate regardless. Which again makes me think that sending a quick note to the kingdom that, hey, yo, someone really did break the treaty, would, at least it wouldn't be, a negative. It wouldn't hurt, and might even help. I need to evaluate just how suitable of a husband you are. Okay, she is fast. She didn't expect an elven MILF to be a fighter like that. Does he not? Or does he mean it as in, I need to get better at using a sword? I guess the meeting didn't go well. For attacking the house, I'm assuming. Oh. Oh? I have a feeling I might come to like her. Is that her? It's her. Is that Evin? It is Evin. The best pillow. You fucking siscon. uh, how's she getting married to anybody but her younger sister? True, she had the help of Arc. If not for Arc, she probably wouldn't have achieved quite as much as she did. Now it's my mustache hair. Could it be the dude is shady? Or am I just looking too much into it, looking for darkness that isn't there? I mean, there's Arc. If he gets some more training from the elf mom. Teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. You can't be announcing your attacks, Arc. You had the advantage by teleporting behind her, but then you fucked it up by screaming out your attack. Wanna join in? Ponta makes for a nice hairstyle. uh, who's gonna come in? Glennis? Ariane? Ariane. Yeah, kinda. Uh, damn! Now you have to get married. An ancient elven custom says so. I guess there's no ancient elven custom. Okay, we have an overarching story now. Just let me spar with your wife every now and then and we're good. Oh. Well, that's easy. And it's in their territory. Well, that's convenient. There's a bunch of elves here. And she will obtain the permission. I mean, not like he has anything better to do anyway, so. More food. Yeah. Are you an undead? I mean, didn't someone say that he doesn't emit the aura of an undead or something like that? Okay. I guess he doesn't need that spring. I guess he doesn't need to visit the spring. Or is it like temporary? I think it might be temporary. I think it might be temporary and it might become a tool for him, essentially. Something that he can use to, I don't know, look human for a while, right? Instead of, for example, Ainz uses an illusion magic to create a new face for him. Ark could possibly uncurse his head for a brief moment, or I don't know, for a few minutes, or however long the effects last, to meet up with someone and talk face to face. Right? Someone says, "Hey, you have to we have to see your face to let you in." He walks out, goes into some hidden little street, casts Uncurse, walks back in, takes off his helmet, hears me, puts his helmet back on, and wanders in. Hmm, interesting. I did not expect this whole Uncurse business. A miracle for the high-minded princess. I'm assuming in the next episode we're gonna meet the princess. She said something about visiting the elves, right? Talking with them about the whole kidnapping and slave trading thing. So I'm assuming we're gonna meet her. Okay, let's go through it again. There wasn't much that happened, honestly, just mostly talking and hanging around, so I'm not sure how much will there be exactly to discuss, but sure. And now the OP makes sense that he's running away from a dragon. The OP probably shows when they are in the Dragon Lord territory. They're slowly inching their ways towards the Uncursing Spring, and the dragon attacks, and they have to run. Also, Ariane is CG here, I just noticed. Uh, yeah, elves have long lifespans. Ponta doesn't cast a shadow. No, he does, just a little bit. Yeah, just waiting, walking, just a standard elven village. Really nothing, nothing to write home about. Some houses, like you'd expect from elves, look like cocoons. A lot of grass, a lot of trees, and a big, huge central tree where the where the elders live. Ariane's parents. I'm 170 and that number isn't changing, Arara. Talking, eating. I like this little tidbit of Ponta just sleeping in Ark's ribcage. You don't usually. No, no. I wanted to see that you don't usually see like skeleton characters use the fact they're skeleton, but I mean, Ainz used his eye sockets, right, to capture Clementine's daggers. The dude from Paladin. I forgot the name of the series. I'm just gonna call it something Paladin. The Blood was his name. Blood used his ribs to capture a blade. Now Ark is using his ribcage for slipping place to Ponta. So yeah, skeletons are using the fact they're a skeleton. I thought something's gonna go tits up here. I really thought that either those elves are traitors, or after they teleport to Maple, they teleport right in front of a human army that captures them, or something like that. But no, it's just a lively elven city, and nothing goes awry. I thought maybe the elders, or at least one of them, is conspiring with the humans, but no, it doesn't seem that way either. I thought maybe something's gonna happen to this village while the Elder and Ariane are away. But no. I think I might have gotten like. The first episode. I think the first episode really set up the tone of this series for me, and now current episodes don't seem to match that tone, and that's why I'm getting this weird feeling, and the constant thoughts of something's gonna go tits up. Because the first episode showed us Grape, right? The first episode was a lot of injury, lots of gore, lots of blood, chopped off limbs and whatnot. And from that point on, we didn't really see much of that. In episode 4, I think, Ariane burned a couple of people to a crisp, and the Kunoichi girl also killed a lot, but besides that, not much really happened. And then in just the next episode, in episode 5, fights with humans were very non-bloody, very inconsequential looking, kinda. Yeah, I'm definitely getting this weird feeling where I'm expecting this series to be something a little dark, maybe not quite Overlord dark, maybe not quite, I don't know, Goblin Slayer dark, maybe not Grimgar dark, but something a little bit more mature, a little bit more dark. But in the end, it turns out to be just a regular feels good isekai. I don't know. I don't know. Like at the beginning of this series, I had the feeling that it's gonna be something where whenever they encounter a villain, that villain ends up dead, split in half, beheaded, or what have you. But then they encounter the first villain, this slave trader kid, well, not kid, the slave trader dude, son of the ruler of these lands, and he just got out of it with like a broken arm. Then came a fight, and nothing really happened to people they were fighting, and everybody's probably still alive. Now I'm getting the vibe that if they get to fight with the quote unquote ultimate villain, whoever is the leader of the slave traders and whatnot, probably the spiky haired prince. I have a feeling he might be leading of those slave hunting efforts. If they encounter him, it wouldn't seem out of place if Ark would just bend him over his knee and spanked him a few times, all in chibi form, because haha funny. There really is this weird dissonance between the first episode and what we're seeing now, and that makes me constantly look for something dark that's gonna happen. And I had the same feeling with Irina the Vampire Cosmonaut. But in case of Irina, nothing bad really happened. Nothing gory really happened to make me believe that something bad is going to happen at any given point. No, it's simply the weird atmosphere, the weird vibe of this show was almost suffocating. It was. I constantly had this sense of impending doom at any given corner. Are our protagonists just gonna be poisoned by polonium tea or something at any given time? But nothing gave me a reason to believe that this is what's gonna happen. Nothing in that show gave me a reason to believe that something bad is going to happen to our protagonists. In this case, there was something that led me to believe that there's gonna be dark moments in this show, but there aren't any. There aren't any. It's kinda as if you took, I don't know, Saga of Tanya the Evil, and after the first two episodes, from episode 3 onwards, it's Tanya's misadventures at school. It's a slice of life where Visha gives Tanya Valentine chocolates and Tanya doesn't get it, and there's haha shenanigans. That's like the equivalent of what's happening with Skeleton Knight. I wonder, and I have to ask, if someone is familiar with the source material, is the source material also this way? Where it's mostly just slice of life-ish, very light-hearted isekai story, but then you have a chapter or a scene or something that hits hard. And then it's back to a happy, funny story as if nothing ever happened. Or is the source material really much more dark, much more mature, much more gory, and they just significantly toned it down for the anime? They presented it well in the first episode to kind of drag people in, kind of a hook, but from that point on, they decided to tone it down significantly. I don't know which is the case. So if you're familiar with the source material, do tell me, please. Just, spoiler free and all, but do tell me if stuff is toned down from the source material, or is the source material also that way. I like this little callback to those girls that he saved. I really, really like it. Often in stories, you see some actions, some scenes that later turn out to be inconsequential because the main character saves someone and that someone never appears again. In this case, they do appear, and I like it. I really, really do. Uh-huh. I want to spar with you. Going out of their way to break a 400-year-old treaty. Yeah, there are none alive who still remember. That's the issue. It was 400 years ago. Some perhaps still remember, sure, but some of them probably don't. Some of them probably know of this treaty but think, oh, it was 400 years ago. We can go attack elves now, it's fine. Right? That's why you have very often you see like treaty restoration celebration kind of stuff, where every 10 years the current leaders of two countries meet together and renew the treaty. It's not like legal thing that they need to legally renew that treaty, but it's more so to remind people of its existence and remind themselves of its existence. Weird that a treaty like that doesn't have some sort of a celebration of this sort, a treaty renewal every X years. Perhaps you should send a notice explaining the situation on the Rodan Kingdom. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Because you don't know that, but we as viewers know that they know about the whole situation in the kingdom, but they believe it to be a rumor. Maybe it's not confirmed. Someone spread a rumor. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. You know, if you send an official notice saying that, hey, your people are kidnapping our people, they would know for sure and they would be able to act on that. We're under no obligation to justify ourselves to them. He's a warlord, I can already tell. We should not show weakness here, we should attack them first. It was the humans who broke the treaty first, but still attacking Lord Somme was excessive. If it becomes public knowledge, it could spark another war. Are you really hoping to avoid a war at this point? Are you really hoping you can avoid a war? I don't think you can. Maybe you can avoid an all-out war, sure, but you cannot avoid at least some skirmishes. You just can't. Unless you really do send an envoy to the kingdom and explain things. And the kingdom is willing to cooperate with you. And is willing to take down the Lord and, I don't know, introduce some new laws and whatever. Unless that happens, you cannot avoid a war. The operation to liberate our kindred will continue while watching for the Kingdom of Rhodes' reaction. I guess that's not what I would have done. I mean, it's very easy to verify whether or not elven slave trade is going on. You can't exactly hide slaves, right? So all that's needed is someone from the kingdom coming to those lands, going to some slave trader, I don't know, market or whatever. He sees there are elves there. He reports back to the country, to the king, that, yo, they really are trading slaves here. Done. And you can actually resolve it without spilling blood, actually resolve it without the need of a war. Right now, sure, the operation to liberate your brethren will continue, but unless the treaty actually gets enforced again in full by the country, you're gonna liberate some of your elves, and some more are gonna be kidnapped. And you're gonna be constantly going back and forth, back and forth. You might choose to go to war with the local ruler over that, but they will just tell the kingdom that, hey, the elves attacked us with no reason. you have to be the first one to report. Right? Am I taking crazy pills here? Or are they going about it the completely wrong way? A little bit of a match. Now's the one who taught her how to use a sword. Dark elves are blessed with physical gifts. I still can't believe that they are called dark elves. They're not even tan. I guess they're more looking at it as a dark elf as a race. But why would dark elves be living in a forest? I guess I don't exactly know the taxonomy and whatnot of this world, so maybe all elves live in the forest. Maybe dark elves are just a subspecies of forest elf. I don't know. If it's known from the source material, do let me know, because they don't seem like dark elves to me, not whatsoever. You're going to be... Yeah, when we get the measure of someone, we have a tendency to test their strength too. Not to mention, if you're going to be traveling with my precious little girl, I want to know if she can rely on you. She closes her eyes. That's how you know she's a badass. Now she opens them, so she's not going all out. If she were going all out, she'd be fighting with closed eyes. You acted like a... You acted surprised as like an amateur. I mean, makes sense that he would be surprised by her attacks. A little bit of a montage. I'm sorry for attacking the palace, I'm assuming. Meeting the sister. Combat addict who said she would never get married because she wants to get married to her One-chan. And again, I'm getting this vibe that this girl's fiancé is somehow a complete sleazebag and a dirtbag. That he's somehow conspiring with the humans. Or something like that. Because the first episode conditioned me to believe that there are gonna be dark elements in this show. But knowing this show as it is now, it wouldn't surprise me if he was actually a decent fellow. Someone wants to marry you, they need to be stronger than me. Well, I'm gonna wait for you to have a chance to spar with Ark. Dimensional move. But of course he has to call out, I have you now. Well, you don't, because you screamed out that you're behind her. The whole reason that instant transmitting behind your opponent gives you the whole like benefit it gives you is to hide from your opponent beyond their like field of vision and surprise them. If you scream out thunder slush power, you lose every single benefit that your dimensional move gave you. On one hand, and sure, it wasn't said explicitly that she was able to parry his well, not even parry, that she was able to avoid his attack and attack on her own. It's not said that it was because Ark screamed out behind her, but whenever in media something like that happens, I can't help but cringe a little. You know, the first few times, it was fun because it kind of calls out the ridiculousness of it, right? Whenever someone teleports behind their enemy, screams out like a whole entire fucking sentence of the name of their attack, and the dude doesn't even react. That's bullshit. then all sorts of very serious started calling it out by the someone teleports behind and then screams out the name of their attack. Their opponent, you know, turns towards them and blocks the attack and says something like, "I would have been dead if you hadn't screamed out the name of your attack. Thank you so much for making my job easier." Like a few times at the beginning, it was cool because it was a trope subversion. But now that everyone is subverting this trope, wouldn't it be better if you just kinda get rid of it at this point? Like, you're aware that it's ridiculous. So, why not just get rid of it? Right? I'm not a huge fan of the haha, we're doing a very stupid thing here, but we know it's stupid and we're going to call out its stupidity. It works in a parody series, like it would work in Konosuba, it would work in Arifureta, but it wouldn't work everywhere. I don't know, I don't know, just my few cents. And a bath. And of course, something has to happen in a bath. God damn, I can't wait for someone to post a stitch of it on Reddit or something. I might even stitch it up myself. I don't know, we'll see. Ponta censorship, how convenient. I honestly thought we're gonna go for that trope of if you've seen each other naked, you have to get married or something. I don't know why. Always, somehow, whenever there are elves involved, I'm instantly getting the idea of some stupid rules and customs and whatnot that they might have. Like maybe, I don't know, Ark finally defeats the elf MILF in combat, and there apparently is a rule that elven female elders can take multiple husbands, and if someone beats you in combat, you have to take them as a husband or something. I don't know. But whenever I see elves, I instantly get ideas for some ridiculous traditions that they might have. Because let's be honest, they often do. They often do in media. But no, not in this case. I would like to hire you and I'm gonna give you information. There's that spring protected by a dragon, protected by hostile spirits that might be able to uncurse you. And an elf will be able to get you an entry. So my daughter will go with you. Uncurse, purify, and he actually doesn't manage to uncurse himself. Huh. I can't help but wonder to what extent is he actually able to permanently uncurse himself? Or is it just temporary? I wonder. Because if he is able to just casually uncurse himself, then the series kinda loses its gimmick. I don't know. Then again, an isekai losing its gimmick very early isn't exactly unheard of, is it? All sorts of isekai where I was reborn in another world, but as the weakest profession, turns out their profession is actually the strongest. You know how it is, you know how it looks. You're very much familiar with that trope, so wouldn't surprise me if Ark actually turned into a human in like 2 episodes' time. Whew. Very, I don't want to say very inconsequential episode, but a very, very downtime episode, I guess. Nothing much happened, nothing major, like, the elders are now aware of the kidnappings. Ark now met the parents of Ariane. We were introduced to Ariane's sister, and that's essentially it. And Ark was hired in official capacity to help Ariane, and he learned about that weird spring that can uncurse you. And that's basically all that happened. Not terribly much, was it? Not terribly much. But I guess it was needed to kind of wrap up some threads, like the thing with liberating the elves from the area, right? It needed a wrap up. It was needed to start some new threads, like Ark traveling with Ariane, saving other elves from wherever they need help. If they need help, there's the thread of what the elves and the elven elders are gonna do about it. How are they gonna, diplomacy their way out of it with the kingdom? Are they gonna diplomacy their way with it out of with the kingdom? I don't know, but it did start a few Ark's journey towards the uncursing spring. That's another thing it started. Ariane's sister. I don't think they would have introduced her if she was a nothing character. I think she's gonna become relevant eventually. Very downtime episode. I guess that was this episode's purpose. The few episodes before it were, I don't want to say action heavy, but they were heavy in things, right? There was some combat, there was some freeing of the slaves, there was some mystery, some secrecy, some uncovered conspiracies and whatnot. And now they gave us a downtime episode. I think I simply don't think this downtime episode was needed because the previous episodes weren't particularly hype. Like, okay, sure, they were cool and all, but they weren't particularly strong, particularly hype. I don't feel like I need a breather. You know what I mean? Like when I'm watching Symphogear or Virgin Road or Revue Starlight or the Paladin from the previous season or I don't know Sabiku Ibisco or Tact of Destiny or whatever. Sometimes I get a feeling that okay, that was a lot. We need to take a breather. Thank you for this slower downtime episode. I needed that very much. I don't get that feeling in this case. I don't get the feeling for a breather. Perhaps it's due to it all being toned down from the source material. I have a feeling that might be the case. I have a feeling that in source material, the whole freeing of the slaves and whatnot was much more combat heavy, much more brutal, much more gory and whatnot, and the readers of the light novel or of the manga or whatever needed that chapter of a downtime so that it's not a constant high of action. In the anime, it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed, really. They could have continued with action. They could have even picked up the action, as far as I'm concerned, honestly. Picked up the darkness, the action, the goriness, the whatnot. But alas. Okay, I'm gonna have to end it here because I have to be somewhere in an hour and a half. I need to prepare. I need to, I don't know, order an Uber or something. I don't know yet. What I do know is that I want you guys to tell me down in the comments what did you think of this episode, of my reaction. Do you feel just as me that this downtime episode wasn't needed, or do you think it was needed? Are you familiar with the source material? Can you answer any questions that I had during this episode? If so, down in the comments is where you can talk about it, or on my Discord server. You can join it right here. It's open to everybody. There is a Skeleton Knight channel You can go there, talk about stuff, use spoiler tags if needed. Like this video if you liked it, disliked if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases. Not only Skeleton Knight in Another World, but also Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road, Tate no Yusha no Nariagari Season 2, Symphogear G, Revue Starlight, Spy X Family, and that's it. That's my current lineup. And I sometimes stream some gacha and stuff, so stay subscribed, click the bell to stay notified about that. If you want to support me monetarily, you can do so on Patreon. My name is here, link is in the description. You can join it, and for $10 you get early access to non-seasonal shows. That is Symphogear and Revue Starlight. And for just $1 you get access to a special channel on my Discord server where I post some sneak peeks and whatnot. So if you're into that, join, and no matter the tier you subscribe to, you also get your name in the credits at the end of the video, which you will see very, very soon. If you want to support me non-monetarily, you can also do so, and the best way to do it is to spread the word, share my videos, share my channel. The more you spread the word about my videos, the more YouTube itself spreads the word and puts it in recommended sections and whatnot. And someone is calling me, so I better end it right here. That's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, do the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And here is the credits I mentioned, and now I really need to pick up.